So Haley, I think good to get set. Awesome. Well, hello and welcome everyone. My name is Katie Powell. I'm a well-being consultant here at Care First, and I'm so excited that you've joined this month's Wellness Wednesday webinar. Today marks our 12th webinar of the year, and with thousands of participants throughout 2025, that's definitely a milestone worth celebrating. It has been an incredible journey. Together, we've explored a wide range of wellness topics, all with one goal in mind, and that is to achieve a healthier you. We're going to close out the year. We've spent the last couple of months focusing on disease prevention. We talked about prostate health, breast cancer awareness, and diabetes. And now that winter is upon us and the holidays are just around the corner, we're going to shift gears a little bit. And this month, we're going to focus on financial wellness. We're going to share strategies to help you navigate this holiday season with confidence and peace of mind. So, without further ado, today's presentation is called Earn, Save, and Thrive. And this month, we're going to spotlight financial well-being. We'll talk about the fundamentals of financial health, its impact on mental well-being, some practical approaches to budgeting, as well as strategies for building sustainable money habits. And then, as always, we're going to highlight the resources and support that is available through Care First to help you on your journey. So let's get right into it. Let's start exploring financial well-being more deeply. I think we can all agree that financial well-being is important, right? It's important because it provides stability for us, it helps to reduce stress, it supports almost all areas of our life. It's actually one of the core 8 pillars of wellness. Without having financial security, challenges in money management can spill over into your other areas, such as your physical, your emotional, and your social well-being. The holidays are supposed to be joyful, but I think a lot of us, especially now in this economy, are feeling the financial pressures more than ever before. People have these obligations where they feel like they need to continue to spend. Research has shown that almost 2/3 of people experience holiday financial stress. So, would love to know from you all approximately how much do you think Americans spend during the holiday season? And this is all encompassing. So, it's gifts, it's traveling, it's food, and more. I actually cannot see the live voting. So, Haley, if you'll let me know what everyone is thinking, that would be great.
Sure. We have about 85 people that have submitted their polls so far, and it looks like we have a lot of 16 and 1800s. And I'm going to go ahead and end the poll now so we can share.
Perfect. Well, if you were one of those that had said 1600, that is correct. Consumers are anticipating to spend around 1550 on holiday expenses this year. That's actually a decline by 5% since COVID. I would love to know in the chat if you guys anticipate on spending more, less, or about the same for this year's holiday spending. And as you share that in the chat, I'm going to share some additional statistics and insights around holiday and finances. Just because I thought these statistics were so amazing. Majority of us, 84%, cut back on expenses in general over the past 6 months to help support holiday spending. A third of us carry credit card balances that still have not been paid. and just slightly greater than a third are also taking on an average debt of $1,181. And I'm going to speak to that in just a minute. Um, I see a lot of us are saying less, about the same, more, definitely less, 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 less. Okay, good to know. So, what are the challenges of financial well being? I don't know about you, but I just feel like there's so much more pressure now than ever before when it comes to the holidays. And it might be the stage of life that I'm in. We have two girls, and sometimes I feel like I just cannot keep my head above water. And that's just with, the holiday concerts and the 12 days of holiday wear at school. That doesn't even touch the financial aspect of it. But prices are just going up wherever you look. If you've been to the grocery store, I'm sure you've seen it. Prices are increasing all around. It's everything from the economy having more tariffs, having the government shutdown, which we just experienced, the instability of the market. It all just seems like to compound on that financial well being weight that we carry. So we did allude to some folks putting a lot of their financial well-being expenses for the holidays on credit cards. So I just wanted to kind of put it into perspective. If you were to put that $1,181, which is from the last slide, what that average debt is, onto a credit card with a 12% interest per month and paying just the minimum, which minimum credit card payments are 2%, in 3 months, your balance will increase by 32%. So you'll go from $1,181 to $1,561. After 6 months, you're going to increase by 74%. You'll be at a balance of $2,064. And then after 12 months of just paying the minimum amount and having a 12% interest rate, you will be a 205% increase at $3,610. So just the minimum payments, the balance still grows significantly because the interest outpaces the small payments. So this is where we see debt piling on, is that if you're just making the minimum payments year after year, your debt kind of just becomes a mountain. So the next slide talks about generational spending. So you'll see statistics from 2023. These don't include the Generation Alpha, so that's the 2010 to the 2024, but they do highlight how holiday spending differs by generation. And would love to know in the chat if this is true for you or not. This is just the gift giving aspects of the holidays. So for 2025, for Gen Z and millennials, they plan to shop with tighter budgets, shorter gift lists, and more creative cost saving measures, according to the 2025 Small Business Saturday survey. The survey also found that Gen Z and millennials rely on budgeting tools at a higher rate than Americans overall. And we're going to talk even more about this in just a minute. Let me see if anyone's put in the chat. Oh, we got a lot. Yeah. So, all right. So let's see how this affects our mental health. So we know the holiday season brings joy and celebration, but it also can present challenges such as loneliness, depression, and mental fatigue. That's why it's really important that we openly discuss mental health during the holiday season. If I'm doing my math right, and fractions are not my thing, but I would think that this equates to three-fourths of us experiencing emotional distress from the finances of the holidays. that's a lot. It's everything from extra shopping, trying to keep the family healthy enough to get through the holidays, the holiday meals, the gatherings, the, finances that are just the regular lights and electricity, the family comments, the in-laws. There's a lot of different mental health stressors around the holidays. The finances just kind of an additional piece for one. I never knew how much my mother took on until being a mother myself. They really are, in my house at least, the creator of magic, and that can weigh on you. So, the impacts of holiday stress, well, like I said earlier, it's kind of like wearing around extra weight. Like you're carrying this huge weight that no one can see, but it can drain you emotionally and physically. Constantly in your head, you're thinking about, did you buy the teacher gift? Did you get the cookies that you were supposed to pick up? Did you send this holiday card? Did you pay that bill? And that can emotionally and physically drain you. And that could do things like increase your anxiety, create headaches, sleep issues. It can even reduce your immune system. I don't know about you, but do you guys ever get sick around the holidays? I feel like this is a big part of it, is the stress of it all. There's definitely some unhealthy coping tips and financial pressures that we use, such as overeating or undereating, overspending, drinking too much, sleeping too much. It's just a lot. The American Heart Association states that 51% of Americans say that it takes them weeks to feel less stressed after the holidays, with more than a quarter of moms reporting it takes them a month or more to recover. Hi, I'm not mom. 71% of respondents say their biggest regret after the holidays is that they did not take the time to relax and actually enjoy the season. And this one is kind of heartbreaking to me. Eating healthy, exercising regularly, and getting enough sleep are the top three things that respondents have trouble prioritizing during the holiday season. And what's crazy is that those three things are usually what keeps us the healthiest, the best in mental shape, and keeps stress at bay. So if you guys agree, are these things that you give up during the holiday season to make time for other things? You know, eating healthy meals, doing your physical activity, or getting enough sleep. Somebody also just mentioned in the chat birthdays too. Like birthdays don't stop just because it's the holidays. I actually am born the day after Christmas, so I can't imagine what that was like for my own mother. But there's birthdays that go on as well during the holiday season, and that can even add as well. So, in the chat, would love to know, what is your top stressor during the holiday season? What is your top stressor? Is it the shopping, the hosting, the finances, gift giving, what to buy for someone that's super hard to buy for, too many weekend parties? Yes. Oh my gosh, they're coming in so quick. Finances, what to buy, spending time evenly. Oh, I love that one. Uh, Hosting, December is just busy. It is so busy with all of the things. The next slide will show us what other people are saying. So the biggest causes of stress during the holiday season, for most people, is spending too much or not having enough to spend. Gift giving, finding the right gift for each person. I'm so glad other people feel the same. Like, I'm going to get you a gift. I would really love to know what it is that you would really like, versus me having to guess. missing loved ones or family, whether you can't visit them, or maybe it's your first Christmas without them. That is definitely a big reason as well. And having too much to do. I think so many of us can raise our hand. There's just so much to do in the month of December, and somehow the days just fly by before you know it. And also feeling pressures to make the holiday special. I will say this over and over again. While I love social media and I feel like it can keep people connected, I also feel like it definitely drives some um, unexpected, um, I don't even know how to say it, unexpected expectations, maybe, of what the holiday should be. The perfect holiday cards and the perfect tree with the perfectly wrapped presents, when that's not always the case. So let's talk about budgeting for the holidays. So we know that the holidays cause financial stress, right? What can we do about it? We can budget. So what is it and why is it important? Budgeting is your ticket to building the life you want by making one smart decision at a time. So what it does is it helps you stay in control to make it easier to have that control of your goals. And we'll talk about step by step next. It also provides a clear roadmap. It can help you prevent debt and long-term financial stress, that compounding interest with just the minimum payments. And holy cow, we're already at the next Christmas and we're still trying to work off and pay, last Christmas. And it helps you identify and prioritize what really matters most to you and to your family. So, the foundation, and this is the next slide, of any successful budgeting is knowing exactly how much money you have coming in each month. So this would be you calculating your monthly net income, and your net income is the amount of money you take home after taxes, deductions, and any other withholdings. So let's say you're bringing home $1,500 a month after all of those. Then you have your fixed expenses. So these are the things that remain the same every single month. It's your rent or your mortgage, it's your car payment, it might be your cell phone bill, those types of things. And then there's the variable expenses that we need to identify and kind of pre-build into your budgeting plan. So what changes from month to month? Utilities, gas, groceries, things like that. I would say holiday spending as well. Setting financial goals will be helpful because here you're gonna um, find the driving force behind your budget. You're gonna give yourself a reason to stay consistent as well as motivated. And you can even divide this into subcategories. So you can have a short-term goal, what do you want to achieve between now and next holiday season? And then your long-term goal, several years from now, what do you want it to look like? Continuing with budgeting is formulating a plan. So now that we know how much comes in, we know our monthly expenses, both fixed and are variable, setting a goal as far as what we want our future to look like, and then creating a framework or a plan using tools that we're going to also show you. There's lots of different tools out there. You don't have to just try to do this on your own, but you can use a budgeting app, you can use a spreadsheet, you can even write it down in a simple notebook. The goal is just to know where every dollar goes. And I think credit cards are really good at breaking down for you too. If you are someone that maybe uses a credit card every month and then you pay it off, to really identify what your money is going to. This will help you really nail it down. Um, Adjust your budget as needed. So no budget is set in stone. Unexpected expenses always are bound to come up. I mean, you can't help it. My husband called the other day. He needed 4 new tires. And I was like, oh my goodness, I hadn't planned for that. It wasn't in the budget. But dishwashers break and, kids need things, sports come up, roof repairs need to happen. So just kind of having a budget in mind and trying to be flexible and make adjustments as needed and when is needed. And then creating a new budget each month. So we know that the different expenses can fluctuate. So it's important to create a fresh budget. I like to do things like plan ahead. So having a 3 month always kind of pre-calculated out and putting placeholder numbers in for those variable expenses. This really helps financial goals to remain kind of as your priority because you're already thinking ahead, you're already planning, you're already designated pieces of your paycheck to go certain places. And speaking of budgeting templates, there's lots of different things that you can use. We have right here a free and customizable holiday budget planner that's super friendly, and we'll talk about some additional Care First resources that we also have. How do we deal with that ongoing holiday debt? Um, so we want to prioritize dealing with the debt in a couple of ways. Really, you can use either the snowball method. So that's where you pay the smallest balance off first. So maybe it's a $50 doctor bill. You pay $25 each month. Once you've paid off that doctor bill, you go to the next largest expense, technically the second smallest, and you put that $25 that you were putting towards the doctor bill and the minimum payment, and you try to pay that one off faster. And then you go to the next debt and the next debt. But then there's also the avalanche method, which is where you pay the highest interest rate first. This is what I like to think. Dedicating funds each paycheck for the holidays. So we're already at the holiday season, right? This may not be feasible for now, but it could be helpful in years to come. If we think we're like the average American and we're going to spend that $1,552 on each holiday, why not plan ahead? So for next year, divide 1552 into 24 pays. And I say 24 because hopefully we want to have our money before December. And if we do that, that's only $64 a pay. $64 seems a lot more reasonable to come up with ahead of time than trying to come up with the 1552 all at once. Does that make sense? So you can do the envelope method where you put it cash in there and you store it under the bed or somewhere safe. That could be used. I always like to think if you get an annual raise, maybe you get a 2 or 3% raise every year, tuck that money away so that you don't even feel it. So maybe your pay increase was going to be $60 or $75. If you put that into a savings account and it's already pre-dedicated, you're not going to miss it. That will help you get ahead in coming years. Maybe you do the Ramsey method, which we're going to show you in a little bit. You can think about maybe I'm going to cancel cable, or maybe I'm going to meal plan to save money. You can dedicate that money to be your holiday money. I love the holidays. Like, if you knew me, you would know Katie loves Christmas. I'm one of those crazy people that puts her Christmas tree up way too early. But I try, and this is just personal, I try to get all of my holiday shopping done, I would say 95% before December. And that is intentional for me because I want to enjoy the season as much as possible. So I start asking for people's Christmas lists in September. You might think I'm crazy, but it allows me to just enjoy as much as the season as possible. So we are going to transition to mindful money habits. So we're going to take what we learned about budgeting and now ask ourselves, how can we be mindful about our spending? We have a poll for you and would love to know, how far in advance do you all holiday shop? Are you more than 3 months? Are you between 1 and 3 months? Are you a Black Friday shopper? I love Mary just put in the chat that she has $30 taken out of both her and her husband's paycheck for years. Um, oh, that's wonderful. So she has that money at the end of the year to put towards gifts, yes, when you can. And sometimes you have to pull from that, and that's okay. Oh, so the majority of us are 1 to 3 months before. I love that. Some of us shop between Black Friday and Cyber Monday, with the rest of us being the month of December. I love this. All right. So, ways to reduce overspending. Using cash or prepaid methods if possible. So, just like Mary said, trying to take money out during the year. I remember my dad growing up, he had his work did holiday funds where they could essentially hold a certain amount of their pay, each paycheck, and then they would be able to cash it out in October and November. And so that really helped their employees as far as, saving for the holidays. Because, like we said, it's really hard to come up with all of that at one time versus just taking a little bit at each time. So, paying with cash or debit is really helpful. Try to avoid relying on credit cards or those buy now, pay later, unless you really do have a firm plan in place. Try to shop with intention, so making a list and sticking to it. We're going to talk about this in a few, but also things like online shopping. Online shopping actually saves me so much money because if I'm in the Home Goods checkout line or the Marshalls checkout line, I'm finding unnecessary things to buy, and I'm buying them just because I saw them. You can shop with intention too by comparing prices. So a lot of us are smart with that Black Friday shopping and that Cyber Monday. You can compare sales and make purchases with caution. And then again, shop early. So just start picking up things kind of as you go. Between that and, pre-saving throughout the year, it's really, truly helpful. I like this next slide about finding creative ways to save. I think gift giving can evolve over time. So just because you've always gotten, these people gifts does not mean that's how it has to be. So in my family, I was one of four, and we always did sibling gifts. But as we've gotten older, there's now spouses and children. So we pick for one adult and then the kids. And it allows the gifts to be more meaningful and not just to be, a stressor for all of us. It's really a lot more fun to just sit back and enjoy the kids doing the gifts. You can try different things like holiday games. My core team, the well-being team at Care First, we do a white elephant every year for our holiday. So you bring a gift and you wrap it, and then everyone pulls a number and you can steal it. It's a lot of fun, and it's really just a fun way to get a thoughtful gift. Let's see, what else? Utilizing online shopping, just like I said, it helps you to avoid unnecessarily buying things. When you go into a store and it's decorated and there's Christmas music on and there's lights, it just takes over and you just start thinking, oh, maybe Aunt Susie would like this and my husband would like that. And you really are more likely to buy more than you intend when you're going into stores. And it's really hard when you see a good deal. Like you see something that is marked down. So it almost like it's an impulse. I have to buy it. It's 75% off. That's insane. But it's not really needed. You can also, oh, and one other thing I wanted to mention about online shopping is this is really good if you have family or friends that either, live far away. You can just ship it to their house, and not even have to be the middleman. Come here and then you wrap it and then you ship it again. But I like to do it because everything comes in a box usually. And I don't know about you, but I scramble for boxes when I'm trying to wrap. And then experiences. So, can we do something instead of, buying gifts together? I did see somebody at the beginning wrote that they do a trip or a vacation instead. You get to make memories that last a lifetime when you do something like that versus, so and so gets a tie or a new coffee mug. The experiences, whether it's a vacation or maybe you go and see the Nutcracker, or you see a holiday movie, or you even go out to dinner, is going to outweigh any material thing that you can purchase. I've started to do that with friends and family, or family friends, I should say, especially having kids, getting close to so many families and celebrating instead of everybody buying gifts, we do something together. I saw Carrie put in here with her neighborhood mom group, they do a favorite thing exchange. So everybody brings a favorite thing. And I have seen this on social media. And I think it's a great idea. Maybe it's your favorite chapstick or lip gloss, it's your favorite hair product, your favorite kind of sock, different things like that. So everybody gets a small trinket versus spending a lot of money. Somebody's also saying I do gift cards since COVID because it keeps them out of stores and away from germs. I get that. Especially, COVID feels so far away, but it really wasn't. And when we're all in the mall or the stores, you really start to almost be heightened when you hear people cough or sneeze because you know how that's spreading germs. Oh, and I love that Haley put in here. They give their kids the choice between gifts or a trip. And this year they chose a trip, which is amazing. Even at 8 years old, they know the value of a really nice trip. Karen really likes the movie idea. So do I. So we have a family of friends that, two parents and two kids, and we usually do a gift for each. And this year we're exhausted. I mean, we really are. We decided we're going to do dinner and a movie. And it's almost like a gift to the moms because we don't have to cook anything. Nobody has to clean their house. Nobody has to really plan anything. So we just take the kids. They can hang out with their friends, see a fun movie, and we can just take a deep breath and relax. All right. So what are um, some additional ways that we can budget or that we can make financial wellness important this holiday season? A big way is to do a winter cleaning. So very similar to like a spring cleaning, but a winter cleaning. So I found this very interesting. The average American home has more than 300,000 items in it. And almost 40% of us or 40% of us have a storage unit to store excess stuff. So in my home, we do this usually November, especially with toys and clothes and sports equipment. I tell my kids, here's your donate bags. We have throwaway bags too, but pull out toys that we're not using anymore that are gently used and can be donated. Clear out some of that stuff. One, to make room because, they're kids, they're going to get more toys, but two, to kind of help us keep refreshed. And I love donating, especially when I talk to my girls and say things like, You know, this could go to a child that may have otherwise not gotten a Christmas present, and you haven't touched it in a year. Books, clothes, snow boots, snow bibs, those kinds of things. Kids outgrow year after year. So instead of just piling it away, donate it. Uh, I love the cleaning before Christmas idea because it can also help you discover old holiday decor instead of spending money on new ones. I was out recently, this was probably a month ago, and I was looking at Christmas pillows and I actually said out loud, I'm gonna wait and see what I have. And my husband was so shocked. He's like, that's very, you know, very financially savvy of you because year after year, you really just don't remember everything that you have. And do I really need it? Probably not. The last thing I need is another pillow. Um, you can find what you actually need versus what you want, and you can help remove clutter to make room for new gifts and new things. It can also help you identify are things broken, are things, expiring. So I'm all for a December clean out, and usually when my kids are doing their decluttering, my husband and I are doing the same. But I also, back to the COVID point and thinking about getting sick. I spend this time doing a lot of cleaning, Lysol wipes, door handles, nozzles, remotes, things like that, because every year without fail, we get sick around the holidays. So, how do we protect our wellness around the holidays? Because remember, we talked about all of this ties in your emotional well being, your financial, your physical, it all goes together. So, being mindful of scams. This is a big one. Financial security is definitely at a lot of people's, forefront of their thinking, especially when they're making purchases online. Putting your credit card information in may be a little anxiety evoking for you. Some of the scams can include non-delivery scams where you pay for your goods or your services, but you don't receive them. Non-payments where you ship purchased goods or services, but you never receive a payment back. There's also auction fraud, or gift card fraud. I'm a big Target girl, and a couple years ago there was an issue with their gift cards. So now when you buy a Target gift card, they actually give you a sticker over it that an actual clerk has to give you because people were taking the numbers off the back of the cards and using them already. So there's lots of, unfortunately, scams out there. We want to make this holiday peaceful. I feel like we should all take a deep breath in and hold and breathe. I mean, even just doing that, I feel like my shoulders dropped, like from tension. What is the reason for the season, right? We know financial wellness and mental health are so deeply connected and rooted, especially during the holiday season. So we can do things like practice gratitude, take the time to appreciate what you have, take a moment to look around. I love doing this, especially at night. The house is quiet, the lights are on. We're so blessed that the heat is working and there's food on the table, and really just taking that in and sitting in it for a moment. That gratitude really helps. Trying to avoid comparison. Everyone's financial journey is different and unique, and what some people do may not align with what you do, whether it's values or circumstances or traditions, it doesn't matter. We just want to try to avoid, and this is a great thing to teach our kids, comparing ourselves to others. Maybe some people can gift bikes and PS5s for the holidays. Maybe some people are more like the necessities. Just do what is best and right for you and your family. We really, really, really want to prioritize self-care. So remember, the American Heart Association says that the three biggest things that we tend to give up are really the three things that we should try to prioritize the absolute best during the holiday season is continuing to eat healthy, nourishing our bodies with good food, being physically active. Nothing will reduce stress and tension and anxiety and your mental health worries like a really good workout. Elevating that heart rate and really pumping that blood, especially during the times when you are most likely to be stressed. Short walks are important. Sleeping was the last one. We don't want to give up sleeping, especially because sleeping helps to restore the body and the mind and really prepares us for, being successful the next day. So these are different things we want to do as far as rest, connection, and mindfulness that will be powerful in prioritizing self-care. And the last suggestion to make the holidays peaceful is to volunteer, to give your time, to find a sense of purpose. And maybe this is something you do with your kids or your mom group or your spouse. Nothing feels better than giving back and to helping people see the light and get that spark. And our last slide is about managing your financial stress. So, trying not to let the holidays get the best of you, acknowledging and identifying what is your biggest stressors at the beginning, naming the issues, and then trying to take control of them, creating a plan, and prioritizing essentials. So, essential expenses should be first, and then we want to allocate the holiday expenses after that. So it's really important we pay the bills and then we can see what is left to put towards holidays. This is one of my favorites, and I'm going to try to work on that this year is learning to say no. I think one of my biggest downfalls is overcommitting to the holiday season. If someone invites you, I feel like you have to go. But between all the commitments and, the family gatherings and school, and it's just a lot. So protecting your peace and saying, "Oh, thank you so much for inviting me. I am not able to make it this year, but I'd love to catch up with you in the new year," can really do wonders. Like having a Friday night in December for your little unit or your world to protect your peace is really valuable. And then just setting realistic expectations. Holidays change just as we people change. Um, I think being honest and open with your family, I mean, I am with my kids. They want this sweatshirt or these pair of shoes. They have to understand that it costs way more than what a baby doll would or, a toy that they normally would. So the Christmas is going to look a little bit different. Oh, somebody wrote hashtag Benevity. So that wraps up the financial wellness aspect of it. Just to kind of encompass it all, your financial well-being is very important. We don't want the holidays to deter you from trying to be as healthy and happy as possible. So try to do things that we said, take advantage of savings, budgeting, making gift giving a little bit different this year so that you can enjoy your holidays. We are really, really excited for our Wellness Wednesday 2026. Drum roll, please. We have a new theme of the year, and our new theme is da, 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 Wellness by Design, crafting your best life. So really excited, 2025 we focused on building a healthier you, but in 2026 we're going to take that a step further and we're going to craft your best life by really digging deeper into your wellness. For the first quarter of 2021, we are going to welcome the winter season and the new year with a renewed energy. So we want everyone to mark their calendars for January 7th at 12 p.m. We are going to be offering Beat the Chill, Boost Your Health for our Wellness Wednesday webinar. We'll explore strategies to stay both physically resilient and emotionally balanced. The winter months are hard and dark and cold, but we are going to bring light and energy and life into them. We will dig deeper into heart health in February and then, of course, nutrition in March. Want to wrap up with some high level Care First wellness resources. So, if you have Care First through your benefits, you have access to Care First Wellbeing, which is our go to solution for everything wellness. It includes your real age health assessment, personalized timeline feed, tracking capabilities, ongoing challenges to keep you engaged, a unique health profile, as well as core programs. Our core well-being programs include health coaching, both lifestyle management and disease management, weight management programs. We offer both Noom and Eat Right Now, tobacco cessation, financial well-being, and Blue 365. So our financial well-being program is called Smart Dollar. It is a phenomenal program created by Dave Ramsey, who really put together a comprehensive approach to financial wellness. Within Smart Dollar, you can take your personalized self-assessment to kind of launch your content based on what and where your finances are. There's baby steps to prioritize your financial well-being. There's mortgage calculators. There's budgeting documents. There's all kinds of trackers and tools within Smart Dollar, as well as motivational lessons, tools, and content. I love in there, he puts it into perspective. Did you really need to run to Target on your lunch break, knowing that, you could have had your spouse pick up toilet paper and you spend $200, or could you have saved that money, invested it, and seen an ROI in a couple years down the road? And our other financial offering is our Blue 365 program. So the Blues Association has negotiated discounts with retailers across the nation on a wide category of offerings. So Blue 365 is completely free to access. You only pay if you make a purchase, and if you're making a purchase, you're doing so at a discounted rate. So we have some really good discounts. We've got Fitbit, Hey Dude, Blue Apron, Hungry Harvest, lots of gym discounts and classes, and more. And as always, want to point you to more additional Care First resources. Hopefully you feel that we try to wrap our arms around all of our members, as you are a true extension of our family, and provide you as much tools and resources as possible. So you can go to the Care First Preventative Care checklist. You can utilize our health library as well as our care management programs. I did see some questions in the chat about recordings and registration. So in roughly 3 to 5 business days, I would say you'll get a comprehensive email that really packages up everything we talked about today, as well as a link to the recordings, and we'll point you in the direction of registering for next year as well. I know we are out of time, but I truly want to thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to talk wellness with you and hopefully provide some tools and tips and resources to you. I wish you and your family a very happy, healthy, wonderful holiday season and a happy 2026. Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you next year. Bye.